We said, Dad, we are helping you. We are going to do this. We're starting a business for you. We're going to help you get some clients. What's up, good humans? It's Lewis again. I'm leaving the Tortuga office. I came here because I forgot my headphones. I'm going to make another quick video today. And today's video is going to be about how I helped my dad start a brand new business in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of quarantine, and how we're doing 1 month later. So stick around. I'm going to talk about the ins and outs and what we had to overcome to make it work. The main thing I wanted to talk about was how I started a business with my dad, or how I started a business for my dad during a pandemic, during quarantine. But I feel like you have to first understand who my dad is and who kind of we are as a family. I got here when I was 3 years old from Mexico. My dad's from San Luis Potosí, and my mom's from Tamaulipas. They came here, like everybody, searching for a better life. Cartels were getting pretty bad where they're from, because that's where they're originally from, but they moved to one of the border towns, and things were getting pretty rough, so they were just in search for a better life. We got here to the States pretty early, stopped in Texas for a little while, made our way up to North Carolina, and my dad did framing for many, many years, but he's always worked with his hands. My dad's a very prideful, traditional Mexican guy. The kind of person where if he needs help, he's not really going to stop and ask. He's going to do his best to try to figure it out on his own. And I'm explaining that because it is relevant. In the last handful of years, he worked for a tree removal company, and they used to remove big trees like, big trees, using the cranes and stuff like that. He loved it. It was a really good job. He really enjoyed it. And my dad's not the type to jump around to different jobs. I think he was in framing for 10 years, and then tree service for like 5 to 6 years. And anyways, fast forward. So long story short, my dad's not the type to jump between jobs. Every job that he's had for many, many, many years. And so when when a company and a friend reached out to him with an opportunity in the concrete business, he was very hesitant. It took him a long time to make a decision, but at the end of the day, he took it. Around this time last year, he started working for a company in Raleigh that does a lot of concrete work. So they do like the foundations for big buildings, massive buildings that go up. They do the initial footings or foundations. I don't know what you call them. And he loved it. They took really good care of him. I still remember when a few weeks of starting, he came home with like a ton of shirts and uniform stuff, and he was like, "Oh, it's been so long since I worked for a company that actually gives you stuff like that." And little things like that made him so excited. And every Friday they would bring the whole crew lunch out where they were working and stuff like that. I thought that was the coolest thing too. Little things like that. So I could tell he was happy. It was a good move. The tree company that he worked for before the concrete stuff, it was also a good place for him. They took care of him. He liked it, but he was just one of the crew guys. There wasn't really anywhere where he could advance and progress. That was it. Whereas with this company, they painted a very clear path where he could progress and get better over time, and he really liked that. He liked that a lot. So around the beginning of April, this past April, we're now in June. I think today's either the first day of June. No, tomorrow's the first day of June. So at the beginning of April, the company sent a message to all of the crews, and they said that everybody was going to get laid off due to COVID, and there wasn't going to be any work for at least until like late June, beginning of July. And my dad's not a citizen. He can't file for unemployment. He can't do anything, and neither can my mom. My mom cleans houses. And so they were basically told no work from April to July. Which is exactly what, a lot of people are going through right now. Just, being in this situation that we are, and, my parents just not being eligible for unemployment. Even technically, I'm not eligible for unemployment. It doesn't necessarily mean, we're doing anything wrong. It's just, I don't know if you knew this or if you were aware, but even as a legal resident, you're not, most of the time, depending on what type of visa you have or what type of green card you're working with, you're not always eligible for stuff like that. We have to sign a waiver. We have to sign a waiver like when we were given our things, and state that we would never accept unemployment or else we had to pay it back and stuff like that. So COVID just made things extremely challenging for our family. My mom stopped cleaning houses because people were in quarantine. They didn't want strangers coming in and bringing in, possible diseases and stuff. Like, that's the whole point of quarantine. You stay locked in and keep it close with the people that are around you. So my mom stopped cleaning houses right around the same time my dad stopped working. And I didn't think too much of it. I was like, well, let's see. Nobody really knew how long this was going to last either. So I told them, let's just wait it out. Let's just see what happens. On my end, Tortuga was also kind of struggling a little bit because, it was just a tough time for everybody. It wasn't until around mid to late April, that I reached out to them. I started asking questions. I knew they were never going to admit it, but based on the answers they were giving me, I knew things were really tough. I knew they were struggling. And I felt like it was time for my sister and I to step up and do something. Again, my parents are very prideful, especially my dad. My dad would never ask for help unless it was the end of the world. I love him to death. He's a very hard worker, but he also believes that he's gonna fix everything. So I reached out to my sister and I said, "Hey, we're old enough now. We've each got our own thing going on. I can't do it by myself. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time, as much as I would love to. But I can't just drop the ball on everything that I'm doing over here to help mom and dad. But I'd like to. Will you help me?" And she was all for it. She was excited. And we came up with a game plan. We had a couple of different ideas. We didn't know if we were going to go with tree removal, but we had a couple of different ideas. And so we reached out to my dad, and we didn't say, "Dad, would you like us to help?" We said, "Dad, we are helping you. We are going to do this. We're starting a business for you. We're going to help you get some clients and help keep you busy, get the money rolling in. And then at the end, once it's time to go back to work, you can decide what you want to do." And he was excited. He was skeptical. But he was excited, and my dad doesn't, with all due respect to my dad, he doesn't get business. He doesn't want to get business. The whole thing just seems out of this world to him. He just likes to do something he's passionate about and do a really good job, and he likes people to be happy and proud of his work too. So when we told him about all this stuff, and we were trying to explain to him, who the target audience was going to be, what kind of business, and what our marketing strategy was, he was like, "I don't understand any of that. I don't know what you guys are saying, but if this isn't going to be a strain on you, I'm all for it." He was really kind, and the biggest thing he wanted to ensure was that it wouldn't interfere with what me and my sister were doing, which was super sweet. But I mean, during times like these, I think families have to stick together. So I don't view it as something that we did just because we are nice. I feel like it was our responsibility, and it is, families kind of have to stick together during these times. Everyone's family is different. I get that too. So nowadays you can't say shit on the internet, and then people always try to twist your words. So, anyways, so my dad, he was on board with the business. He was excited about it. We created everything that we had to do. This was a Friday. On Friday, we had the conversation about starting it. On Friday, we agreed what we were going to do, how we were going to do it. And my sister and I went behind the scenes, and we built everything from the Facebook page to the marketing plan to, project management software to advertising stuff, everything ready on Saturday and Sunday. And by Monday morning, the ads were running. By the end of the day on Monday, I kid you not, we had spent close to $40 on Facebook. $40, and we had over $20,000 in potential sales, people that wanted us to come out. Now, I'm not saying we made $20,000 by any means, but that's how many opportunities there were in one day running Facebook ads for like $30. So yeah, we definitely kept them on. And just supply and demand, we were able to be very picky with the jobs that we gave over to my dad. It was actually really satisfying to be able to pick and choose which people we wanted to work with. I know it sounds terrible, but if you're in the service industry, I'm sure you get it. There's some people that they'll request a quote, and you'll come out and they treat you like you're doing them a huge, like they're doing you a huge favor. And I don't care how much money you have or who you are. Someone that I recently met told me this, and I'm gonna live by it from now on. But it doesn't matter how much money you have or who you are. Like, nothing means that you're better than the other person. You're all equals. If I hire you to come do my grass, you're not working for me. No, that's not it. I'm trading money for a service, but I don't own you. I don't have the right to treat you like a commodity. That's not how it should work, and nobody should think about things like that, because that's not good. And people do it, but that's not good. You shouldn't do it, because that sucks. So we had to be we were very selective in who we worked with. We got them booked up for the whole 2 weeks, for 2 weeks within 2 days. And my dad was really excited, but he was also starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, because in his eyes, he opened up later on in the week, but in his eyes he was thinking, shoot, as soon as things start to get busy for my kids, they're going to want to go back to doing their thing, and then I'm going to be stuck with a business that I don't know how to run and how to do things. And so he was actually a little bit nervous, but he didn't want to tell us. So later on he opened up. We had a good conversation about that, and how we're in this together, and the whole purpose is to try to build a business with systems and the right people in place, so that it can kind of run itself with a little bit of hand holding. But yeah, so in a nutshell, that was the whole story. This happened at the beginning of May, and it is May 31st. May 31st. He has worked every single day that has been sunny. We have people lined up that are waiting for us to be able to give quotes, and we just don't have the manpower and capacity to do it. And he's booked up for the next 2-3 weeks. So it's exciting. It's really cool. It's satisfying. It has been a lot of work for both me and my sister, because we also have full-time jobs and other things that we're doing. But it feels like we're doing the right thing, and I'm really excited. And my message to you, if you're thinking about starting a business, or if you were in my position and wanting to help your parents, and your parents aren't really business people, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't have a business. I have a business coach that I work with, and I'm part of a mastermind, and he explained to me a while ago that there's a difference between running a business and creating a business, and then just creating a job. And what your folks might need, or what you might need, I guess I'm talking to two different people here, might not necessarily be a full-blown business. So I would strongly recommend sitting down and having that conversation, just being like, hey, would you ever be interested in kind of doing something on your own? Is that something you would be interested in? Or ask yourself that question, and then just start. We're very fortunate now with technology that you don't really have a ton of hurdles to jump through in order to do something you enjoy. During quarantine, I have seen some of the coolest, most innovative people just come up out of the woodwork, just doing whatever it takes to get money. And it's really inspiring. It's exciting to see people do that. And, oh man, I just can't stress enough how easy it is to make money in this country. It is extremely easy to make money. Don't make money the focus. If you need money, just find something that you like and that you enjoy doing, and figure out how to make money using that. Because it's so simple. It really is. And you can start if you want. If you don't know what you like, just start with something simple. Everyone needs their grass cut. Everyone needs their cars washed. All right, guys. My battery's about to die. So long story short, the business just started, and it's going really well, and we're really excited to see where it goes, but it's so early, anything can happen. Today is the last day of the month, so we've been officially in business for 1 month, and I'm going to keep talking about it, and talking about, if you're interested in hearing about how we got the customers, how we set up the Facebook ads, what kind of conversations I had with my dad, funny client stories too. We've got a handful of those. Subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment if you enjoyed the story. Again, this is new to me. I'm still just kind of figuring out exactly what type of content to create and post. So any feedback is appreciated, but I'm going to continue documenting my personal journey or my version of the American dream. So let's enjoy the rest of the evening, shall we?
Send deposits. Mr. Say your girlfriend. Yeah, I see her checking. I just hope your game official. If she with me, then she naked. Hey.